There's a certain prayer I've been turning to quite a bit lately for comfort and consolation. When the folks at Spirited Brunch reached out to each house of worship and invited us to share words of liturgy that have bringing us comfort at this time, this is the prayer that I shared. And I've shared it in at least one, if not more, of our Shabbat videos as well. I'll share it with you at the end of this video again, but I want to give you its context, its history, which I think helps to make this prayer even more powerful than we might realize it is. The prayer is based on a piece of traditional liturgy that's found in every stream of Judaism and in every worship service. In Hebrew, it begins, Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amacha Yisrael, utefilatam ba'ahava tikabel, utehila ratzon tamid, avodat Yisrael amecha. Find favor, Adonai our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. This prayer has a long history. We believe it goes back to the time of the sacrificial cult in the ancient temple, the temple in Jerusalem. And every time that Israelites would bring their commanded sacrifices of animals or grain, their produce, their harvest, the priest would offer these words, that what they put onto the altar and was transferred by smoke up to the divine would be pleasing, would be acceptable, and find favor with God. The Bible describes it as this great big inhale, and that the odor would be pleasing to the Lord. Well, this prayer moved from the site of the sacrificial cult when the sacrificial cult was no longer available to us, when the temple was destroyed and there was no place for us to be able to bring commanded offerings. And what did we offer instead? Instead of sacrificial worship, we offered worship of words, worship of the heart. And now this prayer took on new meaning. Not just that the prayers we would utter, that the formulas we would come up with, that the longings we would express from the deepest parts of our hearts would themselves be acceptable, but that the whole system we were reinventing would find favor with God. The Torah doesn't talk about prayer very much at all. It tells us we're supposed to bring sacrifices. It goes into tremendous detail about where and when and how and for what we're supposed to offer sacrifices. It doesn't tell us the words we're supposed to speak. It doesn't tell us that it's okay to call out to God from our hearts, though there are models in the text of those who have done so before us. But a systematized approach to worship where the whole community would turn away from sacrifices and offer instead Baruch Hu and Shema and the Tefillah and so on. The idea that that would be acceptable to God was always a big question mark. This was a huge leap we took as a people, and it came with tremendous anxiety accompanying the uncertainty, the unknown. That's why the prayer derived from Ritzei has been so meaningful to me right now, because our systems are all out of whack, because the way we've always done things isn't available to us right now in so many capacities. And so we find ourselves wondering and struggling with the question, is the way we're educating our children right now okay? Is the way I'm parenting okay? Is the way I'm functioning as a spouse, as a child, as a friend, as a member of a community where I always knew the most important thing I could do was just show up? I can't even do that anymore. Is the way I'm living my life acceptable when all the things I've known to do before, the systems that were in place and I had faith in, are not available to me right now? Oh God, oh divine, oh spirit and presence in the universe, is what I'm doing okay? Is it enough? Am I enough? As I make the best decisions and choices I can with the information I have available to me in a moment. And when the next moment that information changes, can I have faith and comfort that the decisions I'm making are acceptable to you and to everyone that they impact? That's what I'm feeling right now. I can't imagine I'm alone. And historically, I know that I'm not, because our liturgy preserves precisely these anxieties and these fears. And as that ancient prayer has evolved and been interpreted into modern parlance, this is what we find today. You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. The ancient prayer ended with these words. Our new prayer ends with these words. Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levarecha b'yirah na'avod. We just pray, oh God, that all the ways that we try to serve you and others and be faithful and true to ourselves are acceptable, that they're enough, and that we can feel your presence along the way.